Mr. Aditya Puri, the big concern is, of course, surrounding the twin deficits, the high fiscal deficit and, of course, the high current account deficit as well. And that's why this is indeed a make-or-break budget for Finance Minister. What do you expect from him this time around to rein in these two deficits?
I do believe, and I think everybody should believe in it, he's made a clear statement what his fiscal deficit targets are. Not only has he made the statement, if you see what has been happening thereafter, including withdrawal of auction a certain amount of bonds, reduction in expenditure, I do feel he will be able to maintain his fiscal deficit target. More importantly, look at the short run and the long run. In the short run, obviously the targets will be made through a reduction in expenditure, but he is moving on both the revenue and expense side. So if you look at the expense side, it's the subsidies that are the major cost and non-merit subsidies, which he's looking to reduce. On the revenue side, he's moving to get GST, DTC, as well as widening the tax base.
What do you expect in terms of a borrowing target? Because that's the one number that markets are going to be closely watching out for. Do you see the risk of high borrowing crowding out private investment in FY14?
I don't believe that India investment plans have been crowded out by high government borrowing. India Inc.'s investment plans are linked to the issues that I specified earlier in terms of uncertainty, in terms of problems in getting projects going. I don't think they have been crowded out. As far as the borrowing target is concerned, if he is to limit his thing to 4.8 next year, I don't think there will be a very large increase in the borrowing target.
It's not just the markets, but even the RBI is going to be closely watching this budget. How crucial is this budget in terms of RBI formulating its rate cut decisions? Because much depends on how much the RBI cuts rates through the course of this calendar year. What's your assessment?
I think we complicate things too much, so let me try and give you my simplistic view. I think interest rates are a function of inflation. If inflation comes down, interest rates will come down. Inflation itself is a function of fiscal deficit. And the issue is whether all these things come together at the same time. Let me put it this way. I do believe that the trend for interest rates is down. I believe trend for inflation is down, but the consumer inflation, which is supply side, continues to be sticky. So will we see some reduction in interest rate over a period of time as we reduce our fiscal deficit? Definitely. So all the RBI was saying is fiscal and monetary policy have to work together to ensure that inflation is in control so that I can have appropriate money supply and interest rate. That said, I think there's too much emphasis on the interest rate. The interest rates, while being high, are not so high as to be the cause of all ills. I was talking to Dr. Reddy recently when he was in Bombay, and his comment was, you know, even while interest rates were high, we were growing at 8.5%. So I'm not saying we should not lower interest rates. I'm saying the trajectory is down. I think that this is a balance between inflation and growth. The RBI governor clearly has said that the weight is moving towards growth, but he can't go too far on that balance. So suffice it to say the trend is downwards, but if you're expecting monumental changes in interest rates, don't.